Report. The Supreme Court may soon permit the Biden administration to end a controversial Trump-era immigration program. The court hearing nearly 2 hours of arguments regarding the Remain in Mexico policy that forces some people who are trying to cross into the U.S. to wait in Mexico for their hearings rather than crossing essentially illegally and having to turn themselves into ICE. President Biden had suspended the program before lower courts made immigration officials reinstate it. Alex Capriello is joining us right now live from the land border crossing between San Diego and Tijuana. Alex, are you in San Ysidro?
That's right. I'm at the San Ysidro district. This is the border crossing just north of Tijuana, just south of San Diego. Now, when we're talking about this issue, you got to put it into perspective, right? Because the United States is dealing with record numbers here at the border. Just last month alone, Adrian, border agents say they intercepted around 221,000 encounters with these types of migrants, and around 66,000 of them were allowed to stay right here in the United States. Now, this is the heart of the issue of what the Supreme Court is discussing right now. Should those people be allowed to stay in our country, or should they be sent back to Mexico to await their asylum proceedings?
The Supreme Court heard arguments Tuesday over whether the Biden administration can end the Trump-era immigration policy known as Remain in Mexico. The policy forces asylum seekers arriving to the U.S. southwest border to await approval in Mexico. Former President Donald Trump instituted the policy in 2019 to deter migrants from applying for asylum and stem the flow of immigration.
These are big issues of executive power and the legality of immigration clauses, but ultimately it's a human issue.
President Biden attempted to end the policy on day one of his presidency, but two states, Texas and Missouri, sued, and lower courts reinstated the order. Sabrina Talukdar, federal policy director at Loyola Law School, says the main issue isn't just about getting rid of the policy, but the fact that a lower-level court can block a decision backed by the American people.
The American people voted for President Biden, and one of his campaign promises was to rescind the Remain in Mexico program. The lower court judge doesn't get to tell the Biden administration what the American people did and didn't vote for.
Advocates for the lower court say the Biden administration needs to follow federal law and detain asylum seekers or send them back to their country of origin. Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor countered, saying that can't happen without the cooperation of Mexico.
What are we supposed to do? Just drive truckloads of people into Mexico and leave them without negotiating with Mexico?
Now, the Biden administration has released its own strategy on how they want to deal with this influx of migrants. That includes getting down to the root issue that's happening in that northern triangle of Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. Meanwhile, we shouldn't expect any sort of decision from the Supreme Court to come down until the end of June. Adrian?
A lot of controversy surrounding this topic. Thank you so much, Alex. Let's turn to the web. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.